Hello and welcome to the pre-match live show. India women are taking on Ireland women in a three-match ODI series, and it is going to be an exciting one. Although we know that on paper India are quite a bit stronger team compared to Irish team, but Trishadi will join us in some time. So we are here to discuss about it. And already the toss has happened, and according to the toss, Ireland skipper Gabby Lewis has won the toss and opted to bat first. I think it's an interesting decision because it will be a very hard task for them to put up a good total because we all know how good quality bowlers are there for the Indian team. But it will be interesting that which team India will come up because so many new talents are there in the squad and they are they might get some game time in this series. And meanwhile, Shruti Mandana, India's keeper for this series, as Harmanpreet Kaur has been rested. Shruti Mandana has confirmed that the toss that Shali Shatkari is on her debut. So that's a huge news that Shali is making her debut, and she had a very you know uh, good domestic season for Mumbai. I remember that spell against Bengal in the senior women's T20 trophy final. She was excellent. So recently she played, I think, for India A against Australia in Australia. So she has been very pretty impressive in recent times, especially in the domestic circuit and in whatever opportunities she has been given. So I think based on that, it's an well-deserved debut, and let's see how she does on her debut. But overall, I think Ireland are coming after a series, after a ODI series in Bangladesh. They lost the series, but they won the T20 series in Bangladesh. So we all know that in subcontinent conditions, when a team like Ireland or any overseas team comes and win a series in whatever format it is, whether it is Test, whether it is ODI or whether it is T20, it's a huge, huge thing. So for them, the confidence will be there much, much higher, and hopefully they will look to continue that momentum. Okay, so the comments are coming. We will take. I will take one by one every comments, and obviously Trisha will join in some time, so she will also answer your questions. Okay, Jax. The first comment from Jax: How is Ireland women team? Can they compete? See, as I mentioned at the start of the live, that on paper it will be very hard for them to even compete because first of all they don't play that much of top level teams on a regular basis. So it's a huge opportunity for them to play against a team like India and also that in India. So that is a huge opportunity for them. They will look to cash in every bit of that, but it will be very difficult for them. And especially, after opting to bat after winning the toss, it's a bold call, I will say, from Ireland skipper. But let's see. We as a fan always hope for to see some fight because we don't want any one-sided game. But on paper, it seems that the series is going to be pretty easy for India. But who knows? Cricket is an interesting game. Anything can happen on any day. But there are some players like Gabby Lewis. She is one of the exciting prospect of Ireland cricket and might end up as the best batter or best batter for Ireland history of the women's cricket. So let's see how they do. Okay, now the next comment is from Pawan Singh. Why Australia women team is far ahead of India team? Why? See, I think the first thing is that, first of all, they play so much, knockout matches and, tough positions, and they know how to crack those moments. I think when you get opportunities to play knockout games like, semi-final of the World Cup or final of the World Cup, or maybe, sometimes quarter final, maybe. So that are the moments that you have to crack that code. And if once, twice, or maybe thrice, fourth, as much as you crack that code you become at good at that at that. So I think one second, Trisha, the mm, Trisha is coming, one second. So yeah, so Pawan, sorry, I got here. So what I'm telling that maybe that experience of cracking that code at that crucial moments, and everyone is a game changer. If you see the lineup of Australian team, even now, everyone can bat and bowl and fielding, obviously top class. And I was there in Dubai for the T20 World Cup, and whenever they come to training now, there's something different. I think there is something different that aura, and everyone is like champion. So I think that the body language is a very big factor that differentiate them from others. So I think that is one of the main factor. Pawan Singh, politics, no, that I don't think. Pawan Suresh, hi. Manu questions, sir, why was Reddy dropped? I didn't follow. Okay, 1 second. Trishadi is here to stage. Yes.
There you go.
Welcome back.
Who's that
Welcome
behind
back,
us? What is the
Trishadi.
background?
Wait, ये क्या हो गया भाई?
क्या हो गया?
देखते देख let's see.
Manu is asking, sir, why was Reddy dropped? I did not follow. He also did not follow. We also did not follow. Why was she dropped? Only Indian selectors followed. Why was she dropped?
uh, Sorry, somehow I am not being able to
Leave
change it.
it, leave it. Let's continue. We'll,
Ah,
we'll just.
yes. Okay. So we are taking Trishadi.
Hmm.
Gabby Lewis has won the toss and opted to bat first. Interesting call, bold call,
Very bold call.
very bold call.
Very, very bold call.
But this Ireland team, has won the T20 series in Bangladesh, defeating Bangladesh
Yeah.
3-0. So that might be, they will look to continue that momentum.
Hmm. Of course. Um. Just a second.
Mhm. Okay, Pawan Singh has
Your
questioned
thoughts how
your
India
thought
improve them as
team has
Afghanistan
Indian
today?
team improved same as Afghanistan team.
I did not
What
understand the
our
comparison with Afghanistan men's team, but Indian women's team, I think in this series, obviously they're testing their bench strength, but also I don't know how much can you actually say that this series is going to test India. I think honestly, if I speak absolutely honestly, I think this series is more about the Ireland team improving than the Indian team improving, because even with West Indies in ODIs, I don't think West Indies or Ireland can make a huge impact when it comes to women's cricket, Snehashish.
yes, absolutely. Okay, can Indian women challenge other top teams in World Cup 2025? Obviously, they can challenge, but it's about the consistency. Like every day, like one game you play like you are one of the champion team, one of the contender to win the World Cup. The next game you are completely out of that. When it comes to batting, fielding, or maybe bowling sometimes. So I think
Correct.
it's about consistency that you go and challenge every top teams every day. It's not like one day you defeat somehow South Africa or Australia, and then next 3 games you getting defeated like anything. So I think it's all about consistency. So let's see how they do.
Absolutely. Couldn't have agreed more with you,
Yes.
Um, just a second. I was just checking the team.
Yes, the
Interesting.
team is out. Yeah, I have. Yes, I
Where
have the
is
team.
Shirali? Who is
I
Shirali, Vinay?
I think Vinay was referring to Shefalia. I think somehow. I
Oh,
think.
Shefali.
Yeah.
Shefali is
Yeah.
playing domestic cricket and
Yeah.
doing very well in
Scored,
domestic,
scoring ton of runs. Scoring runs
Yeah,
like.
exactly. But even when she was dropped, I think you and I had a conversation that in 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 domestic she's gonna score runs. There's no point in
Yes.
her playing domestic cricket, to be honest. In international cricket, I think in T20Is, again, I don't know why was she dropped. In ODIs, yes, she was not performing, and I think Pratika is doing well. So, sure, why not?
Yeah, and Pratika did well in the West Indies series also. I think after the first match, I think in the second match the way she batted and the strike rate has improved also in that second match. So I think she did well.
Absolutely,
Who is the
absolutely.
captain in World Cup 2025? Harmanpreet Kaur as of now. Oh.
One day World Cup. We are
2025. This ODI World
Yeah,
Cup.
2020. We are already in 2025, Pavan.
Yes. Bowman asking how many hundreds could Sriti into it. That only time will tell, but she will score a lot, and we all hope that she
If
can
she
score.
keeps playing Ireland series as well, then that she could cross Meg Lanning and all.
Yes. Okay, Prasenjit Mitra, are you guys going to do a derby special today? Yes, at 12 p.m. we'll do a live. So be there. We will all be there. Okay, the team. We have to discuss the
Yeah.
team. Team is out. So Shriti Mandana, captain, Pratika Rawal, Harlin Deol, Jemima Rodriguez, Tejal Hasnavis, Richa Ghosh, Dipti Sharma, Sayali Sadgare on debut, Saima Thakur, Priya Mishra, and Tita Sadhu. So good team, and very happy for Sayali that a strong domestic season. Not only one season. I think every season she has been pretty good with the ball. Recently played for India A against Australia. In Australia, did well, and we are discussing that spell against Bengal in the women's senior T20 trophy final. She was there. She was very good. So very happy for Sally Trishadi.
Yeah, absolutely. I think happy for Sally. Also, the truth is, India has not really settled in a pace attack. The pace attack is still wide open when it comes to the Women's World Cup, because maybe Renuka is a certainty. But other than that, if you honestly look at it, you don't know why Arundhati was dropped. But with Arundhati being dropped, Pooja not really fit, so there are a lot of questions on who are going to be your pacers, and that is where I think both Sayali, Saima, and Titash, all three have a very very good opportunity against Ireland, and I hope they utilize it. Sayali has had great domestic runs. Would be
Yes,
expecting runs in the sense not batting runs. Runs I meant is spells. You know, so I think great opportunity for Saheli. And when you're making your debut against Ireland, I think the pressure is less. And if you can get a few wickets under your belt, you get that confidence going.
yes, absolutely. I think Bowman's comment is quite similar what Trishadi you said to me 2 days ago. That why is Herman rested? She could have scored big and going into the World Cup.
Absolutely. I can think of two things. A, maybe she's facing that, when you don't really do well, there's a lot
Mm.
of mental pressure on you. So maybe she wants that mental break, and well deserved. Why not? I mean, if going into the World Cup, she's one of your main players. If she's there in the team, she's one of your main players. So you give her rest and let her come back after that mental break. Either that, or going forward, maybe we'll see Smriti captaining the team, so a smoothish transition starting from the Ireland test, because it could be easier for Smriti to get into that mold if she starts with Ireland. So either of the two.
And do you think that knee injury played a role? I think she needs some rest. That knee injury.
I'm not 100% sure about that knee injury, because it comes back and goes away very conveniently. So I'm not
Yes.
100% sure, because also, the problem with cricketers is they're not 100% transparent with what is happening. So for
Mhm.
me to sit here and say exactly how is that knee working, because against West Indies, she seemed fine to me. So I'm not 100% sure. In
Mm.
ODIs, she's fine. So whether the knee acted up, or was she, taking painkillers and playing the West Indies ODIs because she knew she'll rest against Ireland. So there are a lot of there's lack of transparency in many ways, and that's where I think the whole speculation comes in.
Yes, absolutely. Pavan Shure is commenting, will you cover India Open badminton event?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
we will definitely cover. We are
Gargi,
already giving updates on Malaysia Open. So when the India Open starts, we will definitely cover and give you all the
Gargi will be
updates.
there at the event.
Oh,
He
that's
will be
wonderful
there.
that Gargi will
So
be there. So all live updates you will get from our
absolutely.
platform. Okay, Manu asking Ashes prediction. I think that's the main series that we are looking forward.
Men or
The Ashes,
women's?
obviously
Women.
women's. Women, yeah.
Ah. Oh wow.
But in women's ashes there is a point system, right? There is a
Correct,
per
correct,
match
correct.
point system.
Per
Yes.
match point system.
Hmm.
I think Australia is going to win it.
Yeah, I also think so because we all know how strong Australia are, but at least a strong fight is expected from England.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And you never know,
Especially
if Natalie Silver Brandt can perform consistently, we might
yes,
see a pun.
yes, absolutely. I think Ashes starting on 12. I think right now
12, yeah,
Australia playing a practice game. I think
yeah.
Sorry, England playing a practice
England,
game
yeah.
right now from 9. Yesterday it started. On 12, it is going to start with the fast ODI. I am looking forward to see Georgia Ball in action again. I think that injury prevented her to be in New Zealand. Ali Shiley played, but let's see how Georgia Ball fits into that playing 11 play.
Yeah, that will be
Okay.
interesting. What will be her role
Yes,
with Healy being there?
yes. Absolutely. Okay, so now about the Acha, Ireland team, we have to discuss that also. Shara Forbes, Gabby Lewis captain, Una Raymond Hoy, Ulla Prengrade, Laura Delaney,
Prendergast,
Prendergast, yeah, Laura
Laura
Delaney,
Delany, Lee Paul,
Leah Paul,
Christina Coulter-Riley, Arlene Kelly,
Kelly, Georgina
Carolina
Dempsey,
Dempsey,
yeah, Freya
Freya
Sargent,
Sargent, and Amy
Amy
Maguire.
Maguire.
Yeah.
Pretty expected lineup because what we researched about that Bangladesh series, that was a pretty expected lineup from that series. All
Yeah,
these
yeah,
players, yeah. So that is not
mostly.
very surprising,
They have
but
made two changes, and Gabby Lewis is playing in her 50th ODI.
yes, 50 today, right?
And when I say two changes, it is two changes from the last, obviously from the last ODI they played.
Yes, the Bangladesh. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Jax is commenting why less women taste. I think Prishadi will answer that.
No idea is the answer to that. I think I would love to watch more test cricket.
Yeah,
Fantastic. Somebody has come in the back end and removed the background.
I think Rohan. I think Rohan.
Yeah, I think very difficult to fathom why less women test. I would love to see more. Maybe 5 match series. Think of this. India and Australia. I don't know. Jhulan and uh, Jhulan, who's there? Maybe Fitzpatrick, Jhulan Fitzpatrick
Yes,
trophy, or Mithali Lanning trophy, something of that sort. Get give the trophies better name and get 5 tests and a WTC championship cycle eventually for women. It would be great.
absolutely. And India did pretty well in test, especially in India. So India would love to play more test, but we are
Absolutely.
eagerly waiting for that India England test that is going to be happen, in England. So that will be interesting to see. Okay, SS98 is back, and his comment is,
Rajvika
does
Kishore to question.
the selectors ignoring Jemima? I think we have been, telling several times in different lives and shows that Jemima should be considered as one of the, contender for that captaincy role. But let's see what future, holds for
I
us,
can only hope,
for her.
the only positive that I'm trying to take from this is probably that probably Deepthi, now that she has got this responsibility, maybe now that would reflect in her performance, because at times what happens is certain people perform better under that kind of pressure where you have to lead from the
Absolutely.
front, because it's a newish bowling attack. If you actually see, Priya Mishra is new, so
Mm.
is Sayali, so is Saima. Titash has been on and off, so you can still call her pretty inexperienced. So inexperienced bowling lineup, and as a vice captain, if you actually look at it, the batting lineup is pretty settled. Probably Harman
Mm.
will come in place of Tejal eventually. But other than that, the batting lineup looks settled. It's the bowling lineup which is pretty new, and as a vice captain, I think that is where Deepthi will be more crucial. The more crucial role she'll be playing there, and I think if Deepthi has to, in fact, return this faith that the selectors have shown in her, then she has to perform better both with the bat and the ball.
Yes, absolutely. I think the last point is very important, both with the bat and the ball. I think with the ball, she has been brilliant for over the years. You don't need to question about that. I think with the bat, I think she has to step up her game. I think that
Look,
will.
Satish, if India has to play two spinners, it's
Mm,
important that Deepthi also contributes with the bat, because otherwise,
exactly.
if you have to take her only as a bowler, she absolutely merits a place in the 11 only as a bowler. But if you have to
Absolutely.
do that, then eventually you have to drop her down the order, which means you have to play another bowling all rounder, spin bowling all rounder, or you have to play someone like a Pooja Vastrakar. Then you have to play another spinner. So the whole team balance shifts a lot. It depends a lot on how Deepthi does with the bat for the balance to remain. So that's why I think it's important and significant that Deepthi performs well with the bat.
Absolutely. Okay, Manu is commenting. Great, you covered every sport irrespective of views. Okay, thank you. Okay, Ashim Hans is back. Thoughts on Pratika Rawal starting her international career well. Two replays at scores of 1 and 3 in her first innings was just the luck she needed, it seems. I think she did well, as I
That's
mentioned.
part and parcel.
Yes.
Yeah, she did well, and I have been saying this the loudest. You were there, I
Yes.
think, in the Railways match. I was booking her ticket for the Indian team. I was like, take her, you know. My only thing is, I don't know if you have noticed this, Sneha Shish, and it's a little too technical, of course. But she holds the bat a
Mm.
little like this, the face is.
Backlipped. Mm.
Yes, I don't
Mm.
know in bouncy pitches. She
Mm.
might find it a little difficult, bouncy, and
It's
those last moments, seam movements. Because if your
it's
bat is
kind of
coming
it's
high,
kind of similar to Mayank Agarwal backlifts. Like Mayank
yes,
Agarwal backlifts like in top. So
yes,
that's right.
yes.
So let's
So,
see
but
how she
I do
does.
think in India, Pratika will be doing very well.
Mm. Mm. Okay, Jack. Sometimes I feel Hallin gets stuck after power play in front of top teams.
Um, Against Australia, you can't really say. I mean, against Australia and England, every single run scored is difficult. So
Yes,
understandable. And after power play, in fact, in one days, I don't think it's a big deal if she gets a little stuck after the power play, because you still
absolutely.
have overs to compensate and you have batters to compensate. Someone like Richa will come and compensate. But also, Jax, where I kind of agree with you is, I think after power play, Hurlin still looks to score a lot of boundaries instead of trying and taking those singles and twos. That's an area that Indian batters as a whole need to improve on.
Absolutely. Okay, Remo commenting WPL in Lucknow and Vadodara. Vadodara, would it be good for the competition?
Don't think so, because both are slow spin bowling tracks. Think low scores, and low scores, I don't know how much low scores will people enjoy, because I think in IPL people turn out a lot because there are 180, 160, 180,
Yeah.
200 scores. But my only scare is because the wickets are slow and spin friendly. If the score is around 125, 130 or 140, and people aren't able to chase that, then unfortunately the reading would go, oh, women's cricket is not up to the mark. So that's where I think women's Premier League deserved probably better venues with better pitches, unless they make completely highways in Lucknow and Vadodara. I mean, that again would be very, very silly.
Yes, absolutely. I think in the last year IPL when we saw that kind of pitches, we are not that much happy because that doesn't bring the equality from with both in the between bat and ball. But usually why not like IPL? Like every team gets to play in their home time. Why not like that? WPL is happening. Okay, now it's getting success also. Okay, I can understand. Okay, getting Eden Gardens will be trickier because international matches going on, mains are playing also. But at least some grounds in Kolkata, some grounds in Bangalore. There in Bangalore, we all know Alur ground is there, Alur cricket ground. Here we have many grounds like Jadavpur and all. So why not like that?
Interesting question. I think logistically, how much is BCCI interested
Mm.
in what do you call that, in investing in WPL is
Mm.
interesting. And let's not attack BCCI directly. The question is also about how much ROI is there, what is
Yep.
exactly the model in their head. So I think eventually you will see the home away system also coming in. I think as
Mm.
WPL settles in, as the crowds increase, in fact, I think one of the better steps taken by BCCI is it has completely separated WPL, or at least it is trying to separate WPL from IPL. Probably WPL will happen in March, something of that sort, quite far away from IPL. So that is where I think BCCI is taking the measures. But it will take a little time, to be very honest, because investing directly is a little difficult. And also, you have to take into account that the Indian women's team hasn't been performing that well.
Mm.
So that
Point.
jump might be a question. As an administrator, you just cannot go on emotions. You also have to go on a lot of ROIs and all that. So I think that is where you have to give BCC a little bit of time. Having said that, if they did in two venues, I don't see the reason why they couldn't have probably chosen one slowish venue and one more batting friendly venue. But that's fine. Maybe these were the two that's available. Also,
Available. Mm.
yeah, just the domestic season is also coming towards an end, so there are a
Yes.
lot of pitches which are already tired,
Mm.
have been played. on so I think that that also needs to be considered. It's not easy, to uh, conduct so many tournaments, because you have to keep IPL also in mind.
Yes,
So there are so many things that people need to keep in mind. While it seems unfair, but I think eventually things will sort out as the ROIs increase. Because ROIs play a big role, Snehashish. You might try and deny,
definitely.
but the truth of the story is, as an
Mm.
organization, until unless there's proper ROI, you cannot really get into this five. I think eventually it will also increase from five to six, seven teams, but it will take time.
Definitely. Definitely. Okay, the next comment is why not Yastika Bhatta instead of Hallin? Utilization of power play is important in white ball cricket. I think Yastika is currently playing in the ongoing senior
Challenger.
women one day challenger, one day challenger. But what I think that maybe the team management thought that it might be very early to to include her in the squad because just she came back from the injury. I think it was the injury that she sustained in the BBL, WBL. What do you think, Trishadi? India could have choose Yastika Bhatt in the squad?
Yes, they could have, but instead of, when you're saying Hurling just scored a
Yeah,
century against West Indies. You drop her?
absolutely, absolutely. And against Ireland, as you mentioned, that everyone is looking to to check their bench strength. So you want to give chances to like Pratika Rawal, rugby based, like these players.
Yeah, I mean, what is your, see, you also have to understand what is your, say, 15, 20. Let's say 20
Mm,
going into the World Cup.
mm, mm.
If Yastika Bhatia is there, sure. If Hurlin is there, then you have to give Hurlin the chance. No, you cannot be dropping her after
Um,
one West Indies tour and then expect her to come back for some other tour and perform. Also,
yes.
because women do not get enough matches. While, yes, that's a complaint. But now I'm just saying, if you have to do optimal use of resources, then I would try to change the batting lineup as minimum as I can, because as I'm repeating over and over again, the bowling is so unsettled that you cannot unsettle your batting lineup as well. If you now look at the playing 11, today's playing 11, for example, I think somewhere in place of Tejal, Harman will be coming in. Other than that, there
Mm,
is no change in the batting lineup.
yes,
So
absolutely.
that's where I'm saying it's important to keep at least one part, constant.
Mm,
So that is where I
yes,
think they went with Hurlin. Can they go for Yastika? Of course. I think a good WPL will also again ensure that she's right there in the mix.
yes. Okay, Ashim Hans, will the Ireland series give a real gauge on our women team stands? Should we have probably opted to play trial it as is with another stronger team in the mix? See, I think
Um.
we started the live saying that this series will be
Yeah.
more important for Ireland compared to India. I think
Exactly.
the best thing happened for India to check their bench strength. I know
Yeah.
some good performance from the youngsters.
Yeah.
But what about that last part, Trishadi, the trilateral series thing with another top team in the mix?
Who is, which team are you talking about, Asim? That's important. If you're
Yes.
talking about, because you also have to understand, as I the term logistics, because if you're talking about Australia, England, because that's another top team
Mm.
out of the two, they are playing Ashes, so they are not going to come.
Yes.
The other team, if you're talking about West Indies, we have just played them. If you're talking about New Zealand, I don't know. I mean, New Zealand see, New Zealand is such a team, you don't know whether to put them in the bracket of a good team, bad team, competitive team, because they come into the World
Surprise.
Cup with one match in the entire year, then win the World Cup. So it's very difficult to say, but sure, they could have played a trilateral series. But then
Yes.
again, I mean, these are the logistics that BCCI admin handles. I don't think there's a lot of choice in that. What I do think is, if cricket has to become a global sport, then, I mean, global sport in the sense, if women's cricket has to grow, it's important that these kinds of series are played, because you want an Ireland to come
Mm.
closer to competition when it comes to the likes of India, England, Australia, South Africa, New Zealand. But the gap is huge. The gap between the top five and the bottom five is huge, as we have seen in the West Indies ODIs. You know, so that is where I think these series, in the long run, is important. Right now, in the short run, probably looks pretty useless. South Africa, I'm not sure. South Africa could be playing somewhere, or they have just finished a series. Something of that
Yeah,
sort is going.
they have just finished the series with England. Yeah, and it's a long series, like in every format.
Yeah,
They played ODIs, they played T20s, and then Test. So that's it for now because we have
just
to
going
leave
to
because the
share
match
them.
has started. Tita started open bowling, but last moment, Tishadi, what is the prediction? How much score Ireland gonna score?
125, 130.
125. So we might be back for the post-match type very quickly then.
Yeah.
So
So I do think so. I think I was telling one of the commentators, who is a friend, I was telling them that, maybe if Ireland bats first, then things will be easier.
yes.
But I hope not. To be honest, I hope
Yes,
not.
yes, absolutely. I think in the start in the live, I also told that on paper, everyone knows that it will be very easy for Team India, but on cricket, you don't know what is going to happen. And we all hope as a fan, some competitive should be there because that will be beneficial for both the teams, whichever teams are playing.
Absolutely. I completely
So,
agree with you. Sorry.
so
Sorry,
that
guys.
is the thing.
Jet lag. I have just returned from
Yes,
Australia.
absolutely. Just yesterday night, she has come back from Australia, so it's
Yeah.
understandable. So okay, so we are
But look
taking.
at the commitment of Rev Sports. Look at the commitment of Rev Sports.
Yes,
We have come back from Australia and we are back with women's cricket. We'll be
yes.
back with Derby in another in another hour.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So stay tuned for all the latest update on sports, different sports, whether it is derby, it is women's cricket or men's cricket, everything on Dev Sports. We will be back with the post-match live. Thank you, Tushari. Thank you, everyone who commented, and please be with us. Stay tuned, Dev Sports. Thank you.